Islands?
According to my screen, yes, most of us are in the VI.
Okay. So can we use something, an example from there then?
I
So
actually have a good example.
Mhm.
And I think most of us here want to be farmers or are farmers. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the examples that I would like to use is a farm supply co-op, because we all know how difficult it is to to purchase and to get proper farm supplies here. I don't know if you all agree.
Could you give me, well, I guess we'll you'll go into why needed so I could understand better.
Okay,
I'm in
so
the United States, so
some
yes.
examples are if you want to fence off yourself from your neighbor, but you want to do it
Uh-huh.
in a farm fashion, to get large quantities of fencing, a
Mm-hmm.
50 to 100-foot fencing amount can be about $175. If you had to order that in bulk in a co-op, it would be a lot cheaper from the States. Another
Oh.
perfect example is fertilizer. Especially a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us are trying to do natural and organic right now.
Mm-hmm.
One of the top fertilizer types here is fish emulsion or blood meal or bone meal or feather meal. And they can range anywhere from $10 for a 5-pound bag all the way up to $30 for a 1-gallon bottle, if any of you have used it before. And that is kind of expensive since the analysis on the bottle is usually very tiny, of like 0.5 nitrogen, 0.3 phosphorus, and 0% potassium. So you have to use a lot of it. And that can add up quite fast if you are trying to grow vegetables.
So is there no composting going on?
There is composting going on, but it's personal composting going on. I actually am one of the um, organizers for one of the training courses for the composting workshops that's been held annually by Waste Management. But there is
Mm-hmm.
no large scale composting industry that meets the FSMA qualifications in the Virgin Islands. And I point out FSMA qualification because FSMA, we are a United States entity which falls under the FSMA regulations.
Okay.
So in the States, if you are doing composting and you are using compost that is not registered or that it does not follow FSMA regulations and something happens, that is a big no-no. Okay.
Okay.
So there's a lot of additional regulations coming down the pike by FSMA. Um, and that is it's falling on us. I'm saying FSMA, and a lot of people may not understand what FSMA is. Can you guys see this? I'm trying.
Producer. Yeah. So
That's
produce
yeah.
positive.
So it's laws coming down by the feds from the new producer safety for growers, and so within those producer safety regulations, there's a lot of information about how compost should be handled. And down in the Virgin Islands where we are, a lot of us may not know this, but there are regulations that say how much heat or how long it should be at a certain temperature and how long it should be turned, and all of that falls into FSMA. So that's one of the reasons why it's coming down now that this should be done this way. And I'm off topic. Anyway, let's go into
Actually, you're not off topic because you're in the islands, and the one question I would ask is, because I see another potential is, who is your market that you're growing this food for? Is it to export or is it to feed your local people?
Okay, so other participants beside me, can you all jump in? Liba, Rosa, Devin, Dolores. Do you all have anything to say as to answer Cecile's question? Okay, so most of our foods.
But
Go ahead, Liba.
yeah, I'm not a farmer.
Oh, you're not okay.
Not a farmer, like occupation. But you know, one thing, and I guess like I say, I lost in the project. And, you know, one of the biggest thing I see we have faced around here is the this food business, and we import 80% of our food. And not saying the farming import in
It's
farmers
98.
market, right?
It's 98.8% of the
Oh
food.
yeah, okay. Thank you for the question. You see, yeah, and then you know, we got our processed food with GMO and all this type of thing. And this storm and this pandemic show you we could be potentially cut off from the you know, the food chain.
Mhm.
And so to me, in this time, I see a need that whereby, like I said, I'm not denying that we don't need farm. We need farmers still, but also I think we need also consumer cooperative or food cooperative, whatever you want to call it, so that our people could be empowered to at least control that market. Cause that market's controlled, you know, by non-Africans, you know, the supermarket and so forth right now. So I see a need for that we need to somehow be able. Cause our people complain about the high cost of food, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and we ain't getting the good food, you know, these non-African, you know, important, not necessarily quality food for us. So there's a
Not good
need to me.
quality.
There's a need that that we need to, well, you know, work with the farmers and the consumer them owning their own cooperatives so that they could at least have a share in the market, the food market right now. You know, that's I just saying out, you know.
So I'm hearing I'm hearing a number of things. One, you have a need for food. So not just bringing in supplies. I mean, because 98.8% of your food is imported and is poor quality and substandard. So you're living in a food desert like we do here in the United States, right?
In a lot
Or
of
in the
areas.
Black community,
Mhm.
right? So what you're really talking about here is a cooperative that's going to address your self-determination needs, because that's what we're doing right now, right? With self-determination as a major thing, because you're getting substandard everything, which is going to have impact on your health. So you mentioned the fertilizer, then we mentioned the composting, then you mentioned FSMA qualifications, right? And I'm
Mhm.
saying that you have a right to be self-determined in your food production and food security. So all of these things that they're talking about, I mean, it's good quality standard. However, you need to feed your people.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
And
That
yes,
was my question, Vanessa.
mm,
When you said supplier type of cooperative, are you leaving out food production
no,
and just
definitely not. Definitely not. It's where
so food production and supplying will be a part of that?
yes, exactly.
Okay.
So if that's the cooperative we want to discuss right now, that would be basically us putting the ideas together of what type of cooperative we're, so we can say it's a supplier and food production cooperative.
well,
And I
it's a
think that's
food
what Cecile was
production,
getting
but
at.
you're buying your supplies to facilitate the food production. I mean,
Exactly.
that's
Correct.
right, right.
So he talks about what's the potential membership base and volume of production for the project. That's the next thing we need to discuss, because we just did the why the co-op is needed. I think Cecile put it together very well. So what's the potential membership base and the volume of production for the project? Any thoughts on that?
Seem like your
Well,
whole island is your membership base.
well, wouldn't it be those who are farming? Wouldn't it be the farmers that we have now?
Well, in our case, I don't think we would limit it to just the farmers, because in Georgia, if you are in several different places we've been that have cooperatives, if you buy into a cooperative, and even if you're not a farmer, but you buy into it and you want to buy supplies, say you want to have your own backyard garden so you can grow your own whatever vegetables you like. As a member of the cooperative, you benefit from whatever they bring in. Correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question. Can a cooperative, even though you may have, you might say production and what supply? That's what you said.
Supplier
Supply
and food
cooperative.
production
Yeah,
cooperative.
but can that cooperative still have another economic activity, say like distribution, say like a, a supermarket, a cooperative supermarket, for example? You know.
Remember what's his name said it can be that Donna loves hybrids. And so that would actually be a hybrid. There are several cooperatives for grocery stores. And so there's a beautiful one that we visited in Georgia, and they basically bring in nothing but organic products. So their entire grocery store is stocked with nothing but organic produce, peanut butter, everything that is on their shelves is organic. So if the cooperative that's a supplier and production one wants to do a grocery store, that could be another component. However, do remember you're extending your scope, and then that would require yet another feasibility study if it's not one that's done with the initial feasibility study.
I was saying, I was commenting too, so that one of the biggest concerns I see down here too, even though some of our own African folks form businesses, not necessarily cooperative, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they feel this was a need for the people from the we call it West End grocery to education station in terms of books, education, thing related to education.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I observed was, community support,
Mm-hmm.
community support, and question whether they done a feasibility study and all that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, if we could somehow get our community, beside the membership, the farmers and support, if we get some way we could get the community to support something that they need,
So you're
maybe
saying there was a lack of community support? When these people form businesses, you're saying there was a lack of community support?
Not really lack, but it wasn't as great as it should be.
Okay. Is there a
succeed.
perception that other people who don't look like us, products, their water is colder or their ice is colder than ours?
Say that one again.
Well,
broke up.
Huh?
You broke up a second.
You know, they always say that the ice is somebody else's ice is colder, right? Or them grass is greener. So I'm just asking, is there a perception based on the fact that it is ours and we're black, that somehow the other people who don't look like us, their products are better, even though we may have a superior product?
More
Is that the
variety,
problem?
I would say they have a more variety and they have a better marketing location.
Okay.
and they
And
probably
that's
have
what we have to compete with as small businessmen and women.
And they also have more capital, Cecile.
Okay.
That
So
is-
more variety and marketing locations and then
Right.
capital.
and they have more connection with the supplier from the state, the bigger supplier them than
Because of their capital, because they have the money to go out and do the search for the products that they sell.
And they pool the resources a little better than we do.
Yes, that is definitely so true.
Are these white or Chinese people?
Neither.
Huh?
Mostly Middle Eastern
no,
people.
neither.
Middle Eastern, so
Mostly like
Lebanese.
Arab
Okay.
and them type
Who
of
their
thing,
resources?
Arabs, some few white.
Arabs?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Arabs. Yeah.
Okay. So Arab market. Okay. Lord, everywhere we go is the same thing, eh? Same thing here in Black America. I want you to know. Okay. So it sounds like when we said the potential membership are farmers, the potential consumers, and everybody getting some kind of farm supply, because if you have a home, you might want to fence off. So that fencing stuff and all these other things are probably beneficial to these people too. So it seems like you need a marketing campaign initially to a survey, or like he said in the beginning, what's the need? I mean, you're identifying a need from the amount of people we have on the call here. And I'm sure others are going to say the same thing, because if you're getting 98% of your food coming in, then you should probably have something that ties in your health, life expectancy, and or other health indicators that show that there's a need, right, for fresh fruit and vegetables grown in your country by you using your own standards, because obviously you was growing food before these people came. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there needs to be some kind of pushback here on two levels. One, the composting, and two, the lack of ability yet to to come together and, maybe have a container shipped to you with the things that you need, right? But again, like you said, that's the capital, right? Upfront capital, and shipping costs. Wow.
And so one of the issues, as Bevan, I think, just pointed out, the Lebanese or Pakistani or whichever area they come from that predominantly dominate our food area here, they do pool their resources like nobody else's business, okay? They work together from the time they're in diapers to ensure that everyone knows how to run and own a business. And this is taught to them as they grow up about being a business owner and how to basically encamp and hold on to their market, okay? And everyone here who goes and shops in the grocery store knows, do you all know how to grade produce? Do you know how produce is graded in the market? Anybody?
I have a general idea, but I can't say in detail specifically.
Okay, so in the market, you normally have levels grade A, grade B. Sometimes there's a C, and then they're called culls. The other one is called culls. Okay, and so grade A is something that you normally see in like the top level grocery stores that you go to in the States, whether it's Kroger's or Whole Foods or those things. You walk in and you're like, oh my God, did I just walk into the wonderfulest smelling place where it's like, right? And then they may have some B's, but they mark them down, okay? And then C and culls are usually used in the market for making value-added products, or they feed them to livestock. And I would almost bet dollars to donuts on a lot of items that we receive in our markets are not grade A and they're not grade B. If they are either grade A or grade B, I would be shocked, but I know how to grade food, and I have seen as a consumer what we're getting on our shelves, and I would say they're neither A or B. Okay. So we are getting the bottom of the barrel, but paying way more.
Oh, right.
There's another advantage.
Huh?
There's another advantage why the co-op is needed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. 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 And you could form a CSA, right? Where the people buy the shares, and the shares is what's going to give you the capital up front to do what you just want to do now with the fertilizer and I don't even agree with that fertilizer thing. I think y'all should be composting, so you could have a collective place. If you started like fish farm, that could be the fish that you use for your also for your fertilizer.
Correct. Again, but sorry.
And that's
are you recording? I'm sorry, Vanessa. Are you recording? We have like 10 minutes left.
Recording. It's recording.
No, as far as our presentation.
I'm taking some notes, but Cecile is really good, so I was hoping to depend on her for spitting back out the information.
Because the next question we have to answer, and I think we might have touched it, how well would the business fit into the local markets?
I think we touched on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we did touch on that.
So let's agree. So I think that, man, you have a need,
No doubt.
So so how will it fit into local market? So recap what you think.
Somebody else besides me.
Yeah, where's the other people in this group?
I'm watching them here.
I was cut off for a little while, so I missed whatever you all say too much. Anyway.
Okay.
How it fit in market? Once you can get your tool or whatever, the equipment, those things, and you can produce more food, right? Locally grown food, using organic, not too much them chemical fertilizer from them big agro industry thing. But once you get the tool, the resources that you need to produce food for local people along here or people along here, and you have a ready market because others making money off of this and profiting from food, and all people always want to build food. But we also got to do good marketing, advertisement, education, to rally our people to come and support a thing that will benefit them in the long run.
Right. So the benefits are more than financial, right?
Yeah.
The benefits are also health, and it's also self-determination.
Right.
Food
Your
security.
ability, right?
Food
So
security.
food security. So the benefit is food security. That's what the first thing. And then it's financial. And then it's going to improve our health because you're living in a food desert.
And these are the reasons it will fit into the local markets.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the last question is asking, what are the financial and organizational needs for the project? So organizational needs would be that whomever is in here needs to realize it's that their pound of flesh that they need to put in is not only monetary, but also buy-in where they contribute in whatever way they need to.
So the need for sacrifice, initial sacrifice, right?
Step out, yes.
Yeah, need for sacrifice and focus.
It needs for a strong administrative board also of folks who might not necessarily be farmers, but understand the farmer's need and will take care of the administrative responsibilities of the cooperative.
Yes.
That's kind of the role I want to play in any production. I'm like a gardener, like Vanessa said, I'm not a farmer per se. Right. But I have some skills with organizing and so forth. So I see that's a need. In fact, once I was the president for a farmers cooperative way back, and the problem was the farmers really didn't have time to do the necessary accounting, keeping, marketing. So organization that'll have a team that would do that for them and keep a good relation. I think that'll be a strong need as far as organizational.
So accounting, outreach, and marketing.
Correct. And again, making sure they have what they need, ordering of supplies, etc.
That's exactly what's needed. That's the wraparound.
Then the financial,
yeah.
Maybe someone else can weigh in on that. How would you determine the financial need?
Well,
Dolores, is Dolores in the call?
Yes, she is. Dolores, are you being shy?
So we would have to do a budget, right? And from the budget, figure out how much shares we're going to need to sell or, get people involved with, right?
What are the primary crops we'll start with? That'll be a start.
Right.
Tomatoes, lettuce.
Let's see what Benita has to say, because she is currently, and Rosa, I think both of those are currently two farmers. Do you all have anything to input, Rosa or Benita?
Good morning. This is Rosa. When Anne-Marie's here with me.
Good morning.
Yeah. We are just beginning and talking about finances. It's hitting our pockets pretty heavily. Yeah. Far more than we budgeted or thought. Just to clean up alone is astronomical. Supplies and materials. It's just unbelievable, and there's no resources. There's no real place to go to get any kind of resources, not even a rake. It's just not there. Even plowing by the department is costly. Everything is just so costly. We're embarking on cooperative. Again, people that are kind of skeptical. You have to start it and then they will feel comfortable to buy into it. They're not here. They're not willing to build from the ground. Once you see something going, they may be willing to add a few, but most time, it's not happening financially. you have to kind of out of pocket.
So not willing to finance upfront.
Well, we need help in getting some finances up front.
So did you do your budget? Did you do your budget?
Yes, we do. We did.
And okay, so you said that the budget then ended up being more. So that means that
Far
the
more.
budget should have been more comprehensive.
Well,
What
the
was
thing
missing?
about it is we didn't realize once you started clearing land, you
Mhm,
began to see things that were hidden in the bushes
mhm.
that, weren't, and you find that you thought that you had 2 feet of soil, and you find that you have 4 inches, and the rest
Oh
is
Lord.
collegiate, and you got to build up that soil. Where do you get the topsoil to build? You have to buy it, because what is available you don't really want or you can't use. So it's just so many things that compound. And again, you have to buy. It's not available. Trust me, it's not available.
So the topography of the country is something that you should be able to find out, right? Because
Yes, we did.
Right.
We're looking at the topography, and you have to, like the experimental station, we went even there to find out, what do you do? How is your soil typing? And find that they have about 4 to 6 inches as well. But with the resources that they have, we've been told, we're able to build because they have their sources available to them. And that's the experimental station. And so the resources are not readily available to farmers here. There's 1 or 2 that are able to, they built in and they're able to write grants, and they're closed mouth about it. The sharing is not in place.
who is that? The farmers?
Yes. The sharing
Okay, so
is not where it should be.
okay, so then but we had said that the co-op was going to be a for-profit, but in reality, you also need some shared
knowledge.
grant, and grant writing, because even the USDA help out with stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Honey,
Um,
USDA comes with a whole lot of
Paperwork.
I know they're
talk
killing
about,
you.
we talk this talk and we think that, and being familiar with grant writing, having participated, you need to at some point to say we'll go to USDA and we'll put in this and we'll do this and we have all these prerequisites and we're doing it. Trust me, it's not easy. You're not going to get it easy. It's not for you. Maybe again, it's not for us. It's there on paper, but you can't pull it down. Maybe we can say there are $200 million for farmers in the Virgin Islands. How much of that can you actually put your hands on or pull down? How many people do you know that have actually gotten any of that?
So
we looked at even the little ones, cloud plate, and even those things are not available to you.
But Rosa, have you spoken to that assistant commissioner? She seems to be very confident
Oh
that.
yeah, we met with her. Yes, definitely. She doesn't have any money. Her hands are tied. Yes, she has. She came in as an independent consultant and talked with us. She came in through her capacity as the assistant commissioner, and she's quite knowledgeable in the area of agriculture. But again,
she presented some grants that were available.
There's so much red tape. There's so much.
So can I ask you?
We've been doing our homework. We've been doing our homework. We've been beating the bushes. We're trying. We'll get there. Eventually.
No. Because what Rosa just said ties into what is it Vanessa? What Vanessa started out with, right? When she talked about fertilizer, because really she's talking about how to improve the soil, right?
That's
so therefore, there definitely is a market even just for that, right? Because because that's your problem. That's your problem. If you could improve the soil all over the country, so how could we do that?
So let me just touch on that. Let me just touch on that, Rosa. We're almost out of time. We have like
15 seconds.
But if you contact me, Rosa, because you can actually start out with your caliche, and there are things that can help you build your soil and work if you work within sections. So talk to me afterward. You have my contact information. So reach out to me and we can talk. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Rosa would also like to work with you too.
Oh, thank you, Bevan.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
All right.
So people, have we gotten all the points that we need to report back?
The finances is where we kind of got a little stuck because I guess we could do that through the CSA or through, you know, the membership dues, right?
The
After we do
CSA
a
and the
major
membership dues, I don't think that would be enough, Cecile, because that would be like Rosa is saying, it's going to be it is extremely expensive here. Okay,
So
to do anything here. And I think one of the things we would definitely need to be able to do in the initial would be to find a source of capital, like
right,
investor,
an angel investor.
yes, who is a part of the co-op, but they're willing to invest heavily into the co-op because
into your infrastructure.
Exactly, to go
That's what you need is capacity building.
to go to a
Right.
bank and get capital, you need to have capital.
Yes,
So
and
when
may
they
I
speak
add,
of capital,
may I add,
most
Vanessa,
people
to
look
that? Well,
at grants. They do not look at, most people are not looking at foundations when you're looking at grants and business. So one of the main points that I feel as a cooperative, you need to develop, once you develop your business plan, do not look for governmental grants, but look to foundation grants.
Exactly.
And there are many foundational grants that do assist in food deserts. And no, don't that one.
So yes or no? We should look for foundational grants for food deserts?
No, I said that, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thoughts because something was going on. But the foundation grants are available for cooperatives. And I think that's where we need to look at and not look at governmental grants for capitals. And there's many out there. There's a couple of websites, and I don't know you, Rosa, but my name's Benita Martin, and you're welcome to reach out to me anytime. I know a couple of cooperatives in Michigan, and that's how they found their funding capital from, is with corporate. Kellogg is one of them, but there's many, many more out there. So
We have 30
anytime.
seconds, people.
And there's also a way for you to make money selling, creating medicinal herbs for us here as a market, which could bring some money in for you guys.
Yes.
Right.
Is
So
doing something along that line right now.
Right. So that's how we could also get capital. Right. So okay.
I agree
so a budget will have to be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
okay.
I agree with Sister Benita. You have other group. I noticed when I peruse certain funding groups, there's other national organizations that fund agricultural production in various countries, from Africa to South America and places. So yeah, you can find, well, you just gotta know which the organization that does that, you know.
Because when I come back,
and do you qualify? Most times you don't.
So we have to find a way. This is a win-win, right? Where we have people in the diaspora
at the
who
foundational
need something that you grow in the sun, because you got sun all the time, and we need, right? And this is how we're going to have to make some capital. So that you need something like that.
Cecile, you're saying that that the things you need, and the point is I'm going to make is I have reached out and asked about marketing. We have quite a bit of things that are grown naturally here, but where's the market to ship it to? Where's the market?
We gotta talk.
And so that's where we need to develop and get someone to assist with the distribution part.
Okay.
We have even natural fertilizer within aloe. I brew my aloe and I use my aloe as a fertilizer. There's a company in California called Build the Soil, and they're making millions of dollars just off of freeze-dried aloe.
Okay.
So when I called the gentleman, he explained to me, if you are where you grow it, you can make it yourself. Right. So
So then
I mean-
we need to spend a little bit more time. That's why this feasibility study is really good, guys. I mean, we got a lot of information. You know what I'm saying?
The breakout room people, so we can meet up and
We're gonna have to meet up again, guys.
yeah. And we can actually meet besides being in this the co-op.
Yes.
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 We have
Yes.
for that we can ask for Dr. Peterson to give us the information for the persons in our group if we want to meet up again. So we're leaving in a couple of seconds, 32 seconds. All breakout rooms will close out in 32 seconds.
Can I just
Okay.
add something real quick?
Yes.
Cecile, where it talks about the financial needs, I think we need to spend a little time on the financial challenges also.
That is so true.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of the challenges is that we can't get money that easy.
Okay. So we're gonna put that down.
Thank you all.
We're gonna find a solution for our problem here, folks.
Okay, 4 seconds, people, and we're going to be dragged back in 2, 1. Leave the room.
I really hate interrupting people while they're speaking, so that's why I gave so much time. I apologize. Everyone's mics are muted, so if you're speaking to me, you sound great, but I can't hear anything you're saying.
Oh, I was going to say to you, that was so rude.
I know, right? I can't count. That's what it is too. I kept starting over. It's like,
Thank you. You
Vanessa,
gave us more than
Vanessa.
enough time, and thank you for the
Yes.
countdown, so we were able to wrap up with your countdown. So
Right.
thank you. You did a good job.
okay,
Yes, it's a
we're not
tricky
recording right
conversation.
now,
We're not?
but let me know when to start again. I paused
Okay,
it.
we can begin right now.
Okay.
Okay. Well, welcome back to the general session, everyone. And if you had a good time like we did, and I'm sure you did, you had a grand time networking with your colleagues, your group members, and brainstorming about the responses to the questions. So with 15 minutes to go, we're gonna give each of our groups 5 minutes to report. And I know we had groups 1, 2, 3, but I'm not sure if you know what your number is. So let me just say, I know that Ms. Johnson is in one of those groups and she has been a reporter so far. So we'll ask her to do the same if she still is the reporter right now. Is that okay with you, Cecile?
I'm good. I took the notes.
Very good, very good.
So you want us to start?
Yes, please do.
Okay,
I have a
great.
question
I'm with
before-
group 3.
1 second. Dara, should I stop my recording or are you recording? I don't know. I think mine is still recording.
So everyone who was recording, it's probably continuing to record now, but you can stop it so that we can just have the breakout sessions
Okay.
in small chunks.